Due to the success of the first Gen Rio, MyPhone is really on the trace in strengthening the Rio brand's footprint by releasing two new devices on this lineup, the Rio 2 and Rio 2 Lite. The Rio 2 Lite's characteristics are not too far away from its bigger brother. Taking into consideration the trim on the price tag, there had been some few compromises on the spec sheet, in contrast to the actual Rio 2. MyPhone took it slowly but surely in introducing new products in the market. It's been a long time since their last release, but is it the right strategy for this product line? Is the Rio 2 Lite competitive enough to match other devices on the low-end market? Let's figure that out in our full review. MyPhone truly wanted to target the uppies on the Rio line ever since. From the attainable price tag up to the numerous colorful choices. The device comes in red, black, white, and a blue-green color for our review unit. However, this colors only applies to the device's back panel, which also has a matte finish. Well, I am personally a big fan of devices painted in matte as it doesn't sustain much fingerprint marks in contrast to the glossy ones. Thus, it always looks clean. Despite being offered in different colors, the front end of the device still remained painted in black on all variants. Given the cheap price tag, it is not surprising that the MyPhone Rio 2 Lite is utterly constructed with plastic. Although the device doesn't feel too flimsy, it is not absolutely solid either. The Rio 2 Lite's overall build quality feels to last for a long time if given the right care. There's also some noticeable weight on this one, but not heavy enough to be worried about. Taking a tour, we got a 4.7-inch display in front, with the earpiece, ambient light and proximity sensors, LED notification indicator, 2-megapixel front-facing camera, and the capacitive buttons. The left side is empty while the right side has the lock and power switch and the volume controls. Well, the buttons have a very discreet and thin profile. It looks good, although a bit less tactile. At the top, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack, while the bottom has the micro USB port and the built-in microphone. At the back, we got an 8-megapixel camera with LED flash, some brandings and logos, and the speakers. The speaker's performance is pretty impressive on this one. The volume is fairly loud without distorting the quality. The speaker delivers a well-balanced sound, which makes it perfect for any media consumption or gaming. Popping out the back panel reveals the two SIM card slots, and in case the 8GB onboard storage isn't enough, there's a micro SD card slot available, capable of up to 32GB. We also have here the 2120 mAh battery. The Rio 2 Lite has a 4.7-inch IPS display with 480 by 800 resolution and has 199 pixels per inch. With these humble figures, the screen quality is something to be expected. There's not enough sharpness, and if you look closely, pixels can be easily seen due to the low pixel count. But does it look bad? For most people, it is probably not. Viewing angles are also a bit uninspiring on this one. Glares and reflections are pretty visible at times, especially when the screen has a lot of blacks. For example, a low light scene on a movie you are watching. Although outdoor visibility is a bit satisfying, the display can blast enough backlighting to fight against extreme outdoor light. But nevertheless, a marvelous display isn't something to be expected in an entry-level device like this. For its price, the display's performance is fine. The 4.7-inch size is pretty acceptable for ergonomic use, and the decent size on the keyboard can be easily typed on. Also, with a low-resolution display, you could get the most out of the battery. The device sports a 1.3 GHz quad-core MediaTek processor with 1GB of RAM and a Mali 400MP GPU. The processor that's powering this device may look a little frail, but considering the software optimizations and Android Lollipop, this chipset may suffice. Day-to-day operations have been pretty smooth. Browsing through the home screen, up to the apps feeds like Facebook and Instagram have been a breeze. Although there have been some hiccups in opening applications at times. A waiting time of a second or two may occur, but only when the processor have been fully stretched. Gaming experience have also been very decent. I played real boxing and there were no visible frame drops, which relates to the device's 64 frames per second score on Nena Mark II. These score have been possible because of its capable processor and a low resolution display. However, I have noticed an inferior visual quality on that particular game compared to other handsets. Overall, the Rio Lite 2's performance have really been satisfying. My phone may have followed the footprints of the Android One devices on this one. And unlike other malicious copycatting strategy, this one is something really applaudable. The well-known characteristic of the Android ones is the lack of bloatwares and third-party applications, and leaving a stripped-down, memory-friendly Android Lollipop. Not only that it preserves your precious internal storage, but it also improves the device's overall performance, resulting to a buttery smooth user experience. That having said, we got Android Lollipop on the MyPhone Rio 2 Lite. These new Rio devices are the first local smartphones to debut with the latest version of Android, apart of course from the Android One devices. And unlike a standard MyPhone device, I'm not seeing the third-party applications that they usually pre-install on their devices. But unfortunately, you are still left with the native Google apps you usually see on Nexus devices, plus the AOSP apps. What does this mean? It means that there are 2 messaging apps, 2 camera apps, 2 galleries, and many more. It would have been great if they just removed it altogether to prevent duplication. User interface also looks and feels good to use. All of the beautiful aesthetics that Android One is known for is here. The design and operation gestures are here, from the beautiful and functional home screen that has notifications with it, notification panel with quick controls, and even the Lollipop keyboard. Everything was elegantly incorporated. Quick launch gestures are also present. These shortcut gestures are being done while the display is off. Double tapping the display turns it on, so you could easily check the notifications displayed on your lock screen without having to press the unlock button. While other shortcuts immediately launches the dial pad, music player, and the messaging app. Although this feature lacks customization, which is kinda frustrating, the available apps and gestures can't be touched, thus can't be interchanged. The device sports an 8-megapixel primary camera and a 2-megapixel front-facing one. These camera sensors are something very competitive for its price tag. The primary camera can produce excellent shots. It has some decent saturation which leads to impressive details, although the contrast is a bit overblown at times. But nevertheless, the photos it can take are pretty sharp and has some decent depth of field given that there's a good natural lighting. The device only has 3G, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth as a mode of connectivity. There's no 4G unfortunately, but in terms of connecting to the internet via either the 3G or Wi-Fi, everything is cherry pie. Although there are times that I've experienced a glitch when I try to turn on the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi won't just turn on, the sliding switch would just go back to off. However, I found a fix by turning on the Wi-Fi hotspot first before switching the actual Wi-Fi on. Although there's a fix, it is still not tolerable and acceptable. Hopefully, there will be a software update to address this. The battery performance of the device has been very impressive. The Rio 2 Lite's 2120 mAh battery is a robust performer. The device lasted for a good 18 to 19 hours of casual use like messaging, phone calls, and casual internet browsing. While screen on time took almost 6 hours before the juice indicator turned red. The usage figure may really look very impressive, and this may account to, like I said earlier, the device's low resolution display and also some software optimizations. My phone did an awesome job on crafting this one. The bubbly design, satisfactory processing performance, killer battery life, and of course, the Android Lollipop on board makes this device a good choice if you're looking for a device on this price range. Although the display could have definitely been better, a different glass may have performed better to help avoid glares and reflections. And also, the Wi-Fi glitch can be niggling to some. But all these are just minor annoyances, something that you cannot really complain about when you are on the low-end segment. There may have been some flaws on the device's overall facet, but considering its asking price of only 4,599 pesos, it is really hard to complain. If you're willing to spend an extra grand, the actual MyPhone Rio 2 is only priced at 5,499 pesos. which has a bigger and better display, better camera, and a larger battery capacity. This has been NoypiGeeks' review of the MyPhone Rio 2 Lite. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button and share this video if you liked it, and also subscribe if you still haven't. Thank you for watching.